So this is how I started my student council speech back when I was in A-levels. Not early years for me, but the later early years of my life. And it was such a pressure point for me at that time because we were all campaigning to be part of the student council. And it had a huge process of writing essays, of getting good grades, and being responsible, and being someone who kind of stood out in the crowd. And at the end of it all, we had to do a speech. I was a ball of nerves and a very last minute person also. So I just grabbed my best friend, Adila, at the time, the night before the speech was supposed to be given. And we both just kind of sat down and created this whole vision. It was actually her idea. Why, she asked me, why, Amna? Why are you aiming to be a student council leader? Why do you want to be a student council leader? And why, what is it in you that you can contribute? She was just like, no, really, let's just get down to it. What is it in you that you can contribute to our community? All right, so we sat down, we wrote the speech, but there was something that was missing. And I felt like I won't be able to hook the audience in any way. Anyhow, I took the speech and I went back home. And the next morning, Adila came running to me and she's like, I have an idea. Put this one paragraph in the beginning. Imagine this, a galaxy of 200,000 stars, one huge solar system with 8 planets, one Earth, 8 billion people, and one me. That's how I started my speech, and it hooked the audience. And I won at the end. And I wondered over the years, because it stayed in my head like this opening, and I wondered what was it about this opening that hooked everybody? It just kind of lured everyone into this space. They had to use their minds. They had to visualize. They had to really, they weren't expecting it, right? They had to place themselves in my shoes. And so there was an element of storytelling in there. There was an element of emotionally engaging my audience. And I think it's from that point onwards that I realized that it is through dramatic narratives that we can bring any kind of mind shift or any kind of learning, whether it's from young or old. And that understanding came to me through my profession. So I work as an actor in the Pakistani entertainment industry through dramas and films. And although my moral compass and everything that I've grown up with makes me want to use these portals for socially elevated themes, but our industry doesn't necessarily go along those lines. So my social that I want to fulfill, I do through other platforms like public service announcements or doing some health-related campaigns. But deep in me, I know that the real change in a society can actually come through, as our wonderful speaker before me said, through theatrical means, because that's where you grip the audience. That's where we can actually have a heart-to-heart connect with our audience. So if in a drama, for example, we're talking about how to treat your child or how to do early year education, it is actually through demonstrating by showing that household in which things are taking place and how it's affecting the child. So it's through a dramatic narrative that we can make that change. So in earlier years schooling, as all of our experts here have so nicely kind of presented, it is actually in those years that you can inculcate these things through very dramatic means of expression, through animated ways of going through a story, by using storybooks as a tool to get into their value systems and actually embed little pearls of wisdom. So, along with trying to select projects that actually elevate our society as a whole. One of the things that I decided to do, this came to me during COVID, was to initiate a platform in which I could, actually the objective was for me to teach my daughter, who was 9 years old at the time, Urdu. I wasn't living in Pakistan at the time. I moved to Dubai. So my main goal was to get her to read Urdu, understand it, and speak to me in Urdu. So I started storytelling. I would put her behind the camera and I would sit in front and I would read through the stories, but in a way as if she's watching a theater play, in a way that she can interact with the characters in the book. So to give you a little example of how I went about doing this, I'll show you a little video.
Walaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. खाता जाता इतना खाता घट सो जाता.
He ate so much sour lemons that he fell asleep.
Every single day. कभी कभी शरारतें करने का दिल चाहता है. कोई बात नहीं. कितनी दफा तुमसे कहा है मेरे मौजों के साथ मत खेला करो. She got irritated, है ना?
What is irritated?
Irritated means मीसा को गुस्सा नहीं आता क्योंकि मीसा ने एक तरीका सीख लिया है उस फीलिंग से निकलने में. वो क्या तरीका है? जब आपको थोड़ा सा गुस्सा आता है तो आप क्या करते हो?
I take a deep breath in and I breathe out, and then I breathe in again, and then I drink a glass of water, and then I talk.
बिल्कुल सही. तो कोई भी ऐसी चीज हो सकती है जिससे आपको थोड़ा सा डर लगता हो. आंखें बंद कर लें और ऐसे सोचें कि वो वहाँ है ही नहीं.
Or like, the only way to scare a monster
is to say
Auzubillah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Chunomia
Loves chickpeas. One day,
उसका चना गुम गया.
her chickpea went away.
लो इधर भागा उधर भागा. मियाँ खरगोश, क्या तुमने चना खाया है? मैं तो गाजर खाता हूँ.
That is a parrot.
मैं तो चूरी खाता हूँ.
Mr. Gamal's granted you glasses.
इनको क्या हो गया? Positive, negative. So we have musbat and manfi.
Musbat and money.
A surprise! हर जगह glitter, रंग हर जगह फैला दिया.
Even it was on the clothes, the hair.
Mess means गंदगी.
So these are just little excerpts, very small excerpts from longer stories. But just to give you an idea, I mean, I didn't think, when I started off, I wasn't thinking that it's going to become like a channel or anything like that. Honestly, my only objective was to get my child to start speaking Urdu. But the momentum picked up and it started being used as a resource in different schools in Karachi. That's what I know of. I don't know in other places. But I wonder, while I was doing that, I realized that it really was everything had to do with how you are engaging with your child. It's not really there's the content, but the delivery is everything. And when they know that they can actually emote the same way that the characters are emoting, they just become part of the story. So there's so much that I learned through this. And then I realized that it is actually a part of leadership training as well. It inculcates things that makes your child a potential leader in taking initiative. In taking initiative during storytelling, if you can plug in the things of the characters, of how they can be empathetic, how they can be compassionate, how they can engage with other characters around them. These are the lessons that they pick up, and they actually implement them in the worlds around them. An example of it is another instance that happened very recently with my daughter, who I did these storytelling sessions with. She ended up trying out for her student council competition in school. So a part of that I'm going to relate to you right now. Please have a listen.
Imagine this: a galaxy of 200 billion stars and one solar system, which has 8 planets, of which one is the Earth, with 8 billion people and only one me. Now, what is it in me that makes me a strong candidate for student council? It takes qualities of a leader, doesn't it? Well, let's see. I do love helping people. I'm a good listener, and I like to solve problems. My teachers have taught me about the growth mindset. I believe I've got one. It allows me to be flexible, to always learn and not give up. I love creating and working on new ideas. Here are some of my ideas to make elementary school a better place. I love animals, especially cats, and I see a lot of stray cats on our school campus. I would like to create a cat care center for all of them. This will be a space where ASD families can donate cat food, water, cat toys, and pet grooming materials. Elementary school children can then volunteer at the CCC in their free time. Along with the Cat Care Center, I would like to work on creating the buddy system, where one high school student is assigned and teamed with one elementary school student of the same gender. Like a mentor, they stay in touch, check in with each other if the ES student needs help and support. Lastly, I would like to bring vending machines to the elementary school. Why? I'll tell you why. Because some kids get hungry a lot, or they drop their food by mistake. The vending machines will give kids good snack options with granola bars, veggie chips, and healthy juices. Oh no! Don't know how to use a vending machine? Fear not. There will always be a helper around to help you. These were my ideas to make ASD Elementary School a better place. Remember the galaxy? Just like the Earth holds a special place in it, I hope to hold a special place in the Elementary School Student Council of ASD. Thank you very much.
So I'm tying all of this together just to kind of bring forth the point that what kids learn when they're in an environment where storytelling is used as a tool is leadership, is ways to be part of a story, a bigger community, is ways to express, and is ways to contribute in a community and a society. And when this happened, I saw all the pieces connect together. And I'm sure each one of us has some childhood story that has been embedded in our minds. And today, as adults, we are using some of the values that we have used in those stories of our childhood. So I'd actually like to go around in the audience and ask you, what is that story, particular story from your childhood that kind of sat in your heart and is part of your being and your spirit today? That the values and lessons of that you find yourself implementing today.
तो मेरे अब्बा एक कहानी सुनाया करते थे पोदने और पोदनी की, जो पोदनी को ले गया था, क्या था, देव था, आई डोंट रिमेंबर कि क्या लेके गया था, मगर वो छोटा सा पोदना, he had the courage and the good sense to collect people and build a whole community of people who could then counter the evil and bring back the podni. I think that still speaks to me today.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. No wonder you're such a significant force in the academic community, because that is the community where you can bring the real change. Yes. Yes, please. Yes.
So, उर्दू में है, एक लड़का था बड़ा ईमानदार, आजमाइश हो चुकी थी चंद बार, एक दिन वो नेक दिल और बाहया अपने हमसाये को मिलने था गया, ताज़ा ताज़ा बेर डलिया में भरे बेहिफाजत घर के अंदर थे धरे, आ गया इतने में हमसाया वहाँ, खेल में मसरूफ था लड़का जहाँ, अपने बेरों में ना पाई कुछ कमी, होके खुश बोला, अरे ओ आदमी, बेर ये तुमने चुराए क्यों नहीं? बच्चा बोला, क्यों चुराता, चोर था क्या मैं कहीं? बंदा कहता है, तो चोर तब बनते जो कोई देखता, और बच्चा कहता है, देखने को मैं खुद ही मौजूद था।
वाह, वाह।
बड़ा कहता है, वाह वाह शाबाश लड़के, वाह वाह, तू जवां मर्दों से बाजी ले गया। So that's something stayed with me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. To look inwards, you are your own witness, your own moral compass. That's beautiful.
I'd like to share a line from one of the poems that I read about by Robert Frost. Each time I feel low or I feel that I'm not getting ahead, so I always remember the line that miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. So that, gives me the courage that yes, all is not lost. There's still a lot of time.
Right.
So yeah, that is something from my childhood that has stayed with me.
Who is actually a doctor, but a poet as well. It's in Urdu, and when I was, he's the eldest brother, and I'm the youngest sister. So he used to, when we were sitting together, having family time, so he used to recite this to us. गुड़िया गई जब चावल लाने, चावल के कुछ गिर गए दाने, चुगने लगी फिर चिड़ियाँ चावल, लेकिन हो गई दोनों पागल, की दोनों ने खूब लड़ाई, दी कव्वे को जब वो सुनाई, कव्वा लपका झपके झट से उतरा, और बड़े ही रोब से बोला, छोड़ो तुम चावल के दाने, आओ चलूं तुम्हें लेकर थाने। चिड़ियों ने जब कव्वे ने जब चावल खाए, चिड़ियों ने फिर मुंह लटकाए और दरख्त पे जा बैठी, अपनी रोजी गवा बैठी।
My mother used to sing this poem and wake me up when I was sleeping. उठो बेटा आंखें खोलो, बिस्तर छोड़ो मुंह हाथ धो लो, इतना सोना ठीक नहीं है, वक्त का खोना ठीक नहीं है, सूरज निकला तारे भागे, दुनिया वाले सारे जागे, तुम भी उठकर बाहर जाओ, ऐसे वक्त का लुत्फ उठाओ। तो मैं I used to sing this poem when I wake up my kids.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Thank you so much, Amina. I would really like to appreciate you and Fiza both, because you have really emphasized on how well acting skills can transform the micro expressions and convey the hard messages, the complex messages to young children. I would also narrate one of the poems I just remembered too, because you've talked about how they have impacted our lives. When I was a young child, I was the only daughter of my parents, and my father loved me a lot, and all the time I used to be in his lap. So whenever I used to sleep, he told me a story of a jugnu and a bachcha. And it started with, सुनाऊं तुम्हें बात एक रात की कि वो रात थी काली बरसात की, हवा में था जुगनू के चमकने से एक समा जैसे चिंगारियाँ. The other part I can miss out because I don't remember, लेकिन the moral of the story was कि जुगनू ने उस बच्चे को रास्ता दिखाया. And then he taught me that how you can play your part in the world and do not consider that you are nothing. Even a small thing can play, a small light can play an important role. And the way he used to have those acting skills, that made me a teacher. Throughout my life, I was an actor as a teacher. Wow. And I love this storytelling, acting skills. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Power in our hands through all the literature that we have. And we need to start very early, very young, even when they're babies. Your tone of voice, how how your nervous system is, how stressed you are. Like in the classrooms, typically you will see Pakistani, especially public schools classroom, you will see a very staunch kind of a cold, rigid stance. But you don't realize the more calm you are as a teacher, more relaxed and more open and more flexible, moving in the classroom, coming down to their level when you're talking to them, every single thing opens them up, makes them more expressive, makes them feel like they are a big part of the society. Just the simple act of even coming down to, I've noticed this so many times, when you come down to their level, they feel big. They feel like in command. But if you're talking like down like this, even if you're saying something nice, it's like you're talking down to them. And they're looking up to you. And they need to feel like they're right there with you. So these little things, even this speech of my daughter's, I realized that she, you know, when she said that I want to make a cat center, a cat care center, and a buddy system and vending machines. And I realized that those were things that, those were stories that I read to her when she was much younger. They were ideas that she had picked up from these little stories. And so more than, you know, there's amazing content on TV as well, which I encourage sometimes. You know, sometimes I see these amazing series, but very selectively, because you really want to pick and choose what you're putting into your child's mind. But it's really the books and the stories that we need to inculcate, and the most beautiful, most enjoy. You will feel the joy in yourself while expressing it as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your own stories, and thank you for having me here.